Good Wednesday morning, everyone. So, what do you say in an email? How do you reach out to people on social media? Let's talk about it. So, the big question is this: how do voiceover artists like us who are looking to take our careers to the next level, but don't buy into the claims of needing expensive equipment and demos, start bringing in new clients? How do you follow a clear path to changing your voiceover side hustle into your full-time job and stick it to those that said you couldn't? Those are the questions, and this podcast will give you the answers. My name is Earl Hall, and welcome to In the Booth with Earl Hall, where we know how to grind and don't quit. Good Wednesday morning, everyone. Welcome into In the Booth with Earl Hall. Thank you so much for being here today. I'm here to show you, the voiceover artist, how to start, build, and grow a successful voiceover career. Welcoming everyone in on Facebook, on YouTube. Thanks so much for tuning in today. Had a rather interesting question that I'm going to address today. I got an email yesterday, basically from one of my students asking, what do you say? How do you reach out to these folks on, whether it's Instagram, whether it's LinkedIn, which is one of my favorite sites to work with, whether it's Facebook, even probably an email. What do you say? Do I talk about the stuff that I do in voiceover? Do I just make an initial, email saying, hey, love your stuff kind of thing? We're going to get into that on today. Good morning, Lazarus. Good morning, Justin. Glad to have you in here. Couple of things though. I put out a video on yesterday. Actually, I put out more than a few. But I put out a video yesterday talking about, let me grab it, the magazine. And I put out the video yesterday saying I'm going to be basically making a decision on whether or not to continue with the magazine or not. And it's based on the thing that I say a lot. The market will tell you what it wants from you. And so when I looked at the stats on the magazine and I looked at the number of sales we've been able to make on the magazine, very good magazine, love the way that it's put together. I happen to get a couple of hard copies for myself, even though the magazine is basically a digital magazine called VQ, Voiceover Quarterly. We've only sold 11 subscriptions to the magazine since the end of December up until today. Basically, I think the last sale came in about a couple of weeks ago, quite honestly. So we've sold 11 subscriptions to the year long. Basically you get all the magazines that come out each quarter this year, which I think is like $10 or something like that. And we've sold 3 single subscriptions to the digital copy of the magazine, which lets me know something. You guys are the market, and you're telling me that this is not something that you actually want. So I'm going to be making a decision in the next couple of days. Actually, we're going into February. Today's the last day of January. And so it looks like we're going to discontinue the magazine because it's not something that you guys seem to want. So as opposed to like the book, Steps to Voiceover Success, that book just sells every day. We make sales on that book, so on and so forth. So that's something that the market has said that it wants. And I'm actually right in the middle of writing another book that's going to, I believe, be over and above what's been written already in Steps to Voiceover Success. So I wanted to make you guys aware of that. I'm not angry or upset. It's like with anything else. You test and you try. The market will tell you what they want from you. And you guys don't want this. So no sense in trying to continue to reproduce that. But at any rate, also, last thing here, something that's coming up this weekend. I think I told you guys on last week, I went to a Damon John event. His team was here in Milwaukee and did a program. It was about a 4-hour program that I was at, and they sold a course at the end of that program, which everybody pretty much knew that was going to happen. But I did purchase the course, and I'm going to be working with Damon John's team this weekend and the weekend after. So it's Friday and Saturday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. It's an all-day thing, and then Sunday it's a half a day. And then the following weekend, it's the exact same thing. as in regards to time, the time that I'll be spending with Damon John's team. So what that means is that I had to cancel my Friday and Saturday appointments for this Friday and Saturday and the following Friday and Saturday. I sent out an email to everyone that had scheduled appointments with me. So I apologize that I had to cancel those appointments. And if you're one of those people and you're on, just, shoot me an email, give me a call. We'll hammer out when we can do that. And I know one I'm really, really excited about doing was with Storm Waters, because she's getting a demo done by us, her commercial demo. I think will be done tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, I see you in the house, Storm. See you there. But I'm scheduled to be with you, Storm, on Friday, but I had to cancel that appointment because I'll be in an all-day thing with Damon John, and I paid a couple of grand to be there. So yeah, I'm going. So we will touch base with all of you that had appointments scheduled. And then Storm, she was supposed to be getting her other demo, which is a character demo, created. So we're excited about working on that, but have to reschedule that. But Storm, you'll be one of the first folks that hopefully I'll get with next week to be able to complete that. So make sure that we touch base after the show, something like that. Shoot me an email, hit me up on Skype, whatever. I want to nail those things down. Let's see. Okay, you guys got some stuff to say this morning. All right, let's take a look at what's going on. Made it. That was a good looking magazine, though. Thank you, Storm. I appreciated that. Earl, are you going to VO Atlanta? No, I'm not going to VO Atlanta. I think I thought I had mentioned that before. I know I'd said that I was looking at going to VO Atlanta, but what I did instead is I am running this contest with giving away the Norman TLM103 or the Sennheiser MKH416, the DBX286S, and free subscription to Steps to Voiceover Success. And I decided to do that as opposed to go to VO Atlanta. I don't know. I've never been to VO Atlanta, and if I have it was a gut call. Is like, no, I'm not going to spend the money on VO Atlanta. I'm going to spend the money on my folks, and so that's what I'm doing. I would spend a grand or two going to VO Atlanta with flights and tickets and hotels and all of that. I said, you know what? No, I'm going to spend this money right here with you folks and give you guys something. So that's what I opted to do, was the contest instead of going to VO Atlanta. And I did not have a very good feeling about going. And I don't know why. I just, in my gut just wasn't there. So I have a tendency to follow my gut and do that. So hopefully you guys feel like you benefit from me not going to VO Atlanta, because the prizes will actually be given away during that. VO Atlanta starts, I think, the 1st or 2nd of March and goes to the 4th, I believe. And that's when I'll be giving away my prize. Giving away the prizes for whoever wins. All right. Let's see. Okay, so Storm, you got the email. John saying, is the content of the magazine that much different from what you provide us through your other media? Yes, there is. One, because I didn't write all of the content. I tapped other people to write for the magazine. I did some interviews. I was interviewed. There's some things in here about me and the interview that was done on me that you probably don't know. There is a lot of information from the interview that I did with Ben Wake. We have different articles in here written by different VOs that I've been working with over the past few years or months or whatever. Anthony Pica's in here. You see his smiling face talking about ACX. And that I did the interview on Ben Wake. Very good interview, and it talks about his perspective of being a new VO and the trials and tribulations and some of the triumphs that go along with that. But some very good content that is in the magazine. I was very proud of the content. But anyway, there we go. But like I said, I don't expect people to rush out and buy 300 copies in the next couple of days. So I'm like 98% sure the magazine will be no more. So everyone that did purchase a year-long subscription to the magazine, which would be coming out once every quarter, hence the name, Voiceover Quarterly, I'll be giving refunds for that. I just need the people to let me know who they are by sending in their receipt or whatever, showing that they purchased the magazine. Because I honestly don't know. It doesn't show like the person that purchases the magazine. I just see a sale. I don't know who it is. So I'd have to see the receipt. But I'll be giving those refunds for everyone with that. All right. So the reason for the show today, voiceover marketing, what do you say? It's one of those questions that I get a lot and I answer a lot. So when I got the question via email, actually just yesterday, I responded to the person and said, you know what, I'm just going to do a video on it. I'll talk about that in my daily broadcast, because I'm sure, one person has the question, thousands of you have the question as well. And that's just normally how it goes. But there seems to be this thing about what to say in an email. And I want to break this down, or what to say when you're reaching out to people on social media, whether it be LinkedIn, Facebook, whatever, with that. And there's a couple of things that go along with that, because I believe people just put way too much thought into it. And I think there's a really, really big misconception, because I think that when people ask that question, they think that there are a series of words that they can string together to make people respond to them. And there's not. They also think that if a lot of people aren't responding to the emails, or a lot of people aren't responding to them reaching out to, companies and people on social media, that there's something wrong with them. And that's just not the case. Most of the people, I don't care whether it's email or any type of media on social media, whatever, it doesn't matter the platform, most of the people are not going to care about what you have to say. It's just true. They're just not going to care. It is a numbers game. When you're talking about marketing, I don't care what business you're in, it is a numbers game. There is not something so slick that you can say that is going to get people to respond to what it is that you're offering. And the thing about that is you really don't want that to happen. You may think you do, but you really don't want that to happen. And it runs back to what I talk about sometimes about identifying your why and why you're doing what you're doing, so that you attract those type of people into your product or service if they're ready and willing to buy. Just because you send out an email today or shoot someone a message on social media does not by any means mean that they're ready to buy. There will be people that will ignore you and will come back to you in 6 months. Hey, you sent me a message a couple of months ago. Yeah, we got something we could do. Because everybody's not ready to buy today. And everybody is not interested in what you have to say or what it is that you're offering. I need you to understand that. There is no set of words that you're going to string together. There's no course that you're going to take that is going to show you how to string words together that are going to make the predominant amount of people that you reach out to reach back. It's just not there. There's no such thing. So don't put too much thought into that. Also, don't put too much thought into reaching out to people or sending people an email. And this is what I mean by that. I've used the analogy so many times about treating your marketing as if it was, for guys, a chick you're trying to date, for the ladies, for a dude you're trying to hook up with or whatever, or date or marry. I don't care what the thing is. How do you approach people normally? If you're interested in somebody, and this is what I need you to really tap into, how do you normally approach someone? And it really comes down to something that simple. Usually it sounds something like this. Hey, how you doing? I see that you're doing this, or I love that performance you just did. I love what I just saw you do. It seems like you're really good at what it is that you do. Can you tell me more about what it is that you do? You can get people talking about themselves. We all like to talk about ourselves. I'm one of those guys that obviously likes to talk. That's why I'm on YouTube and doing a podcast. When you address people's interests above your own, you have a much easier time of getting in or getting involved. You'll know if you watch any romantic comedies, one of the things that always comes up in a romantic comedy is a woman will complain about a guy sitting at a table and all he does is talk about himself. He doesn't ask anything about her interests or whatever. Sometimes females have a tendency to do that as well. And if someone is just yapping about themselves, you can stand that for a minute or two, but after a while, it gets kind of like, okay, I've heard enough type of deal. But if you go in, and this is from a marketing standpoint, if you go in with the perspective of, I really want to know and understand what it is that you do. I like what I've seen that you do. And the only way you can do that is to actually have actual interest. That's the only way. Now, the way that I do this, if I'm using a platform, whether it be like a LinkedIn or even like an Instagram, doing a direct message or messaging someone, it is simple, it is short, it is to the point 85% of the time. And again, it goes back to some of the research that you're going to do. But here's how I do it. If I see someone on Instagram or LinkedIn that I'm interested in doing business with, the first thing that I will do is I will connect with that person. I will attempt to make that connection. LinkedIn, you can connect with that person and also send them a message at the same time. So if I'm on LinkedIn, hit the little connect button, type in a little short message. Hey, I checked out your website. I see that you guys do X, Y, and Z. You guys do some phenomenal work. Keep up the great work. Hope we can connect more later. And that's it. I don't say anything about what I do. I don't have to, because this is what happens. And this is why it's a long game. What happens is when you send someone a message like that and you're just expressing your love of what it is that they do, and you're giving them accolades, you're giving them compliments, what in most cases is going to happen, or maybe not most, but in some cases, what's going to happen is that person's going to get that message. And I see this all the time because I do this on LinkedIn all the time. That person ultimately goes back, clicks on your little face to go see what it is that you're all about and what it is that you're doing. That's what they do. And this is, again, why it's a long game, because you're not upfront pushing, hey, I'm a voice actor, I can do VO for you. It's not a good look. Being in that begging position is not a good look. What happens sometimes, not all the time, and again, this is a numbers game, so don't get this twisted. This is a numbers game. What happens is, from time to time, people will look at my profile and they will come back and ask me questions about what it is that I do. Because I wasn't sending them a message, hey, I'm a voice actor, can I get some VO work from you? You look like a beggar. That's what you look like a lot of times on social media. That's why I don't do it. I play a long game with this. And it's a better game to play as opposed to what I would call spamming people with, hey, I'm a voice actor, can I get some work from you? What you want to do is you connect with these people, and then all you do is give them praise. That's basically it. But the only way you can be authentic in that praise is if you've actually done a little research on them. You went to their website. So you can say, hey, I went to your website. I saw that you guys are into, I checked you guys out on Facebook. You guys got some great social media out there. And this is, again, if they do, but the only way you're going to find that out is if you go and do it. What happens so many times, and you can use this same strategy, whether we're talking LinkedIn, whether we're talking Facebook, whether we're talking Instagram, Twitter, doesn't matter. This works across the board. What happens most times is that you guys want the sale tonight. You want the sale today. You want it right now, and you're frustrated, you're hungry, and you look that way. Quite honestly, you look like you're hungry. When you send a message to someone, hey, I'm a voice actor, can I do some work? And why do you look hungry? Because every other voice actor is doing the same freaking thing to them. You're a commodity. That's how you become a commodity, by doing the same exact process that someone else does in order to get work. And if you do it, if you play the long game with it, I believe it generates much better results than trying to spam people with you're a voice actor and, hey, can I get some work from you? Which is basically what you say. You may not use those exact words, but in a nutshell, that's what so many of you do. And that's why it doesn't work. Same thing in an email. If you're emailing someone, and I've said this before, but I'll say this again, email is a little bit different from interacting on social media, because obviously you're sending it directly to a person or a company or whatever. So you have to have a subject line. You need to look at the subject line is the ad for the ad. The ad would be your email. So the subject line is going to determine for everyone. You do the same thing. When you get an email, you probably scan through most of it and you just look for what's important to you. That's how email works. People are scanning through just like social media, and they're looking for what's important to them and what they're interested in. So there's two subject lines that I've used, and I've had good success with both. And it's a way to weed out people that aren't interested and also realize the people that are. And that's all you're doing. Because I go back to what I started saying. Most people are not interested in what you have to say today. It's a fishing expedition, if you want to call it that. It's a numbers game. Most people are not going to respond back to you. I don't care how good of an email address list you have. I don't care if you're connecting or have the exact email address of the exact person that you ought to contact. If you've never been in contact with them before, they may or may not be interested in what you have to say because it's based on what they're interested in at that moment. It's the same way social media works. So the email subject lines that I've used have been male voiceover artist. That was it. Subject line, male voiceover artist. The other subject that I used was, do you hire voice actors? It weeds out those that aren't or that don't, and it focuses in on those that do. It's really, really simple. It's not something that you need to come up with some sort of slick thing. It's just you're trying to start a conversation. So the person that clicks on the subject, do you hire voice actors? If they're clicking on it, then obviously they do. And there's an interest right then and there because you've said something that sparked something in them. What do you say in the freaking email? Pretty much the same thing you're going to say on social media. Hey, found your email address by doing a Google search, or I was looking at something, reading an article, whatever the truth is. I found you this way. Whatever that way is. Went and checked out your website. I see that you guys do X, Y, and Z. Also took a look at your social media, and you guys are doing some amazing things in whatever. Would love to make a connection with you guys. If I can be of any value to you, please let me know. I am in, and this is the only place that you'll say this, which will be in an email. I do voiceover and just want to see if I can provide you some value if the opportunity presents itself. Would you like to set up a call? Short email. I'm not giving a rundown of what's in my studio and what type of microphone I'm using. I'm not attaching a demo. I'm not doing any of that stuff. I'm not saying what my hours of operation are or how many clients I've had or who I've worked for. There's nothing in there because this is an introductory email. The person that responds to an email like that will ask you the information that they want to know. But obviously in an email, you can always have a subject line. That subject line, the signature. The signature in your email, obviously you're going to have a link to your website, right? Hopefully you'll have a link to your website. You'll have a phone number that's in there for people to call. Not rocket science. People put way too much thought into, here's the thing. You think you're going to con someone into reaching out to you. That's really, you think that you're going to string some words together that are going to be so immaculate, that it's going to be so awe-inspiring that everyone that you send this email to or this social media post is just going to respond like gangbusters and you're going to be rich tomorrow. And that's why you're sad. That's why I was sad in the beginning, because that just does not work. When you take a longer approach, when you realize that this is a long game, when you realize that you're courting someone, courting them, you're trying to date them. You haven't sealed the deal yet. Basically, what most people do, instead of taking the long approach of courting their clients, they try to get in their pants on the first contact. Sorry to be so crass, but that's what happens. And nobody wants that. Well, except maybe a dude. But you understand what I'm saying with this. So when you take the longer approach and you show that professionalism, you show that restraint, you show that respect, because that is actually what it is. You are showing this potential client respect. And that's what all of us want. When they, or if they do connect with you, they've made a decision that I want to move forward. So when you get that email back that says whatever, because they took the time to respond. Now, if they respond and say, hey, we don't use voice actors or we never hire, that's one thing. But there's a couple of different emails that you're going to get or responses that you may get. One of those responses is, hey, look at your stuff. We liked it. We're going to put you on file. We'll contact you in a bit. Now, if they do something like that, if someone sends you an email and says, hey, we're going to put you on file, or something like that, you immediately respond. Thank you. I mean, immediately. Thank you so much for responding to the email. Is it okay if I connect with you or send you another email or call you, whatever the situation may warrant, in the next 30 days or so? Be professional, show that respect. I'd say 7 times out of 10, they will respond back. Sure, no problem. Would love to hear from you in the next 30 days or so. We may have something going at that time. Now you've got something to put into your calendar that you can act on at that time. The other email that you're going to get, so those are 2. The first one is, no, we don't use it. We don't use voice actors. The second one is, hey, we'll put you on file. Here's a third one that comes up. Hey, thanks so much for the email. Love it. You contacted me just at the right time. I've got this coming up. Can you do this audition? Those are literally like the 3 emails that you get. Or something along those lines like, hey, great, thank you for contact. We've got something coming up in the next 2 months. Can I contact you, or will you contact me back in the next couple of weeks, and we may be able to do something? Those are literally the options. But when you go in and you think you're going to get the goods just because you sent an email and it was the wisest thing or the most cleverest thing you could have ever thought of, to get them to work with you, there just is no such thing. People put way too much thought in this process, and it is not that deep of thought. It's when you look at it like you're trying to develop a relationship with someone, as opposed to you're trying to extract money from someone, you have a different approach. You look different. You look more professional, and you're showing them a level of respect that they're not used to getting from our industry, from people that are looking to get work 9 times out of 10. Because most people in our industry are trying to make the sale on the first contact. You got to play the long game on this. It will benefit you in the long run. Okay, hope that answers that question. Go ahead and put your questions in the comments, and I'm going to take a look over here and see what folks are saying. Let's see. Hello, Harley. Lazarus is saying, he was asking about the magazine. Has the magazine been marketed beyond us? No, because the magazine is about us. That was the complete focus of the magazine. It's about the brand new voiceover artist. It's about the person that's been in for basically, 1 to 5 years, something like that. But I wanted to grab the stories and have the stories told by people that are on the journey and on the path, because that's where most of you are. You're on the journey, you're on the path. And I want to show that. And that's what I'd intended this magazine to be about. It was never to be about the high-end voice actors or giving people accolades that are already getting them and they're already making 6 figures or millions or whatever. The magazine was supposed to be completely about us. And the audience that I have is pretty large. I mean, we're approaching 2,000 subscribers on YouTube. I have just about 900 people that are members at stepstovoiceoversuccess.com, whether free or paid. There's approaching 900 people that are members of that. I've got a Facebook page, over 500 members on that. So when you put something out like a book, and it has always been my books that will be coming out is always just for us. I don't market. I don't, for stuff like this, I don't do Facebook ads because I have an audience. The audience is there. The audience pays attention to a lot of what I have to say. So that's who I market to, because I'm not going to waste time or money trying to build an audience when the audience is here and being built every day because of what I do here on YouTube every day. This is basically how people find me, is on YouTube, and then they see all the different other stuff that I do. Let's see. Andre, I'm at work. I'm here with you all. All right. Highlight of your day. John, so much truth in what Earl is saying right now. Don't assume the worst. Just ask if you can help them. See what happens. Thank you so much, John. Exactly right. Andrea Mage, thank you for the tips you gave yesterday. Yeah, he gave some good tips on yesterday. Voices by Storm. I remember the story about how a composer got to do soundtracks to a video game mod I did a couple of voices for. He sent an email to the author asking if he could. There you go. Justin saying great analogy. Harley, I have a question. How do you think I should work around? I have a question. How do you think I should work around of school? I think you probably wrote that wrong. I don't want to start answering that question and I answer it wrong. Repost your question, Harley. Just make sure you post it. This doesn't really make sense to me, the way that you posed the question. Mage is saying, is one issue enough to make a judgment in the allotted time? No, one issue is not enough. I mean, when I look at, I've sold, the magazine came out, I can't remember, did the magazine come out before the book or after the book? But they were within a week of each other, I believe. So with the book, I've sold hundreds of copies in the same amount of time that the magazine has been out. So that let me know that there's a need or a want for this type of information. And so I'm in the middle of writing another book that will be coming out in March because I know the information is wanted. But no, the magazine, like I said, I don't expect 500 people to go out and purchase the magazine today or tomorrow. And it's a lot to put together. This is not an easy enterprise to undertake. From coordinating with the writers to coordinating my own schedule, using the software that's, the software that's needed to put this together, the time that it takes to do these graphics is immense. But I was willing to do it if there was a need or a want or desire to have it, but it's just not there. And that's okay. You're the market. You told me you didn't want it. So there we go. Okay, Harley still hasn't asked a question yet. Harley, if you want to post a question in the group that is on Facebook, it's just Steps to Voiceover Success. If you're not a member of that Facebook group, go there to Facebook, join that group, all of you. If you're not a member of that Facebook group, it's, free to join. Just go to facebook.com. Anyway, just look up Steps to Voiceover Success and you'll see it. And it'll come up and you can go ahead and join. Just want to make sure I'm not missing anything. But if there's any questions after I go off air, you guys know you can leave a comment in the below and I'll answer your question or take it right to the Facebook group. Me or someone there will answer that question. All right, Harley says, how should I audition and do other things around school? I keep hearing you need to spend every minute sending email and etc., but how do I do it? Hardest answer I can give you on this is you've got to make it happen. Most of you know my story of working a full-time job, being a dad, and trying to build this business at the same time. So I don't feel sorry for anyone. I'm sorry. I do not feel sorry for anyone that's struggling to build the business because it's what it takes. It is literally what it takes. You will lose sleep. You will miss meals. You will miss holidays on this journey if you're serious about it. And that is the truth about this thing. Harley, sleep 2 hours less and send out some more emails or do some more social media marketing. Get up 2 hours earlier. I don't know what it is that you'll have to do between school and your other responsibilities, but there's no easy thing to this. This is difficult. You're building a business. This is not easy. And I say that until the cows come home. That's right. Justin got it. Justin got it right there. Grind and don't quit. There's several of us who judge day jobs with voiceover, juggle day jobs with voiceover. We jump into auditions right after work. Yep, send emails on downtime. And that's what you got to do. You have to make the time to build the business you say you want to build. It's that simple. Look, thanks so much, guys, for being with me today here on In the Booth with Earl Hall. As I said before, I had to cancel some appointments on Friday. I won't be here on Friday with you. So tomorrow will be the last day this week that I will be here, but I will definitely bring you another show, great show, and answer your questions as they come in as well. Thanks for being here. You guys are amazing. I love you guys. And if you haven't joined the group on Facebook, make sure you go join Steps to Voiceover Success. If you haven't subscribed to this YouTube channel, please hit the subscribe button and tick the bell notification so that you know immediately when I go live or upload a video. Go ahead and click that like button. Go ahead and hit that heart, whatever it is. Give me some sort of feedback right now. and leave a comment when this video is posted again on YouTube. You guys have an awesome and amazing day. I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow.